Hey guys, welcome to EuroLeague Fantasy Talks. In this episode, we'll talk about BasketNews EuroLeague Fantasy and our preparation for round 15 with the most focus on budget growing. I will make trades to my team, and then we'll go through the best players and their price growing stats, as well as giving the best players actually for price growing at the end. So stay tuned. And this is how my team did in round 14. I got 194 fantasy points and increased the budget by 930k. Only Milutinov reduced his price because he only got 9 fantasy points. That is unfortunate. Otherwise, Maledon, Mirotic, Diallo, and Karlik Jones, they gave a lot to our budget. Petrushev was not injured, but is just showing for round 15. He will not play against Olympiacos due to the loan agreement. He was loaned from Olympiacos to Zvezda, and one of the clauses was that he cannot play against Olympiacos, so that's why he will miss round 15. So therefore a good idea to pick Mitrovic, or actually to keep Milutinov and Vezenkov, because that will make the front court of Zvezda even weaker. Maybe John Brown will join, so let's see. Maybe he has already joined when I publish this video, so let's see about that. Otherwise, let's check how much each of the players need to score in the next round. So Maledon needs 18.2 not to drop his price. Actually, if you keep Milutinov, and I will keep Milutinov because of the matchup he has, but he's not great for price growing. He needs to score 34.2 not to drop in price, so don't expect to grow price on him. Diallo has good stats, but he's injured, so we will have to trade him out. Karlik Jones, even with minus 11 fantasy points, he would not drop his price, so really good for price growing, playing against Alba. Lidé needs 17.8, Tavares 8.9, Shorts 26.4, and Carson Edwards will not drop his price with 24.7. Let's go and make those free trades now. So since Petrushev will not play this round, we have to trade him out. Since Diallo is injured, he also has to go. And the last player that I will sell is Zach Lidé. Lidé is in a great shape, but the reason I'm selling him is to have 6 players playing on Thursday, on December 12th. And in this case, I need 3 forwards to finish my 6-player lineup for Thursday, and then to have 4 players playing on Friday. And there are some good options on Thursday in forward section, so therefore I'm trading out Lidé. Also, Mirotic will play against his former team. He knows the hoops there, and he should have a great night there, and I'm keeping him. And for my first forward, I will pick Tyreek Jones. Tyreek Jones is playing against Alba, who are struggling not only in EuroLeague but also in the German league. So that's a bit unfortunate. I'm sad about Alba, but we have to take advantage of that. And that's why I take Tyreek Jones. He will not drop his price even if he scores minus 13, which makes him a great pick for budget growing, because he should have a great night at Alba, and he plays on Thursday. As my second forward, I will pick Chima Moneka. Apart from playing on Thursday, the main reason I'm picking Moneka is because he's playing against Virtus, and Virtus are really struggling, and Moneka gets himself really hyped, especially when playing at home, only that Virtus has a new coach, Duško Ivanović, so that might have increased the morale of Virtus team, but let's see if that actually has increased their defense, especially in the front court, because we have some defenders and the guard section, but I think Moneka should have a great game against Virtus. Also, Moneka has decent stats because he needs only 12 fantasy points not to drop his price, so since we expect him to score more, then he also should grow his budget at least a little bit. And as my last forward, I will pick Jalen Horde from Maccabi. I'm picking Horde because he also is playing on Thursday, and because he will play against Bayern, who have the third worst defensive rating. And Horde needs to score 15.6 fantasy points not to drop his price, which I think is more than possible. And since Rivera is injured, Horde should be used even more in the front court, and getting more rebounds, that guarantees him more fantasy points. So this is how my 6 players that are playing on Thursday look like. And then I have Milutinov, Mirotic, Maledon, and Shorts playing on Friday. I actually really like the matchups that my guards have. Karlik is playing against Berlin. Edwards are playing against Maccabi, who really struggle on defense. Shorts is playing against Asvel, and Maledon is playing against Paris. Okay, Paris are good on defense, but simply Maledon is the main guy in Asvel. And you saw, for example, what Evan Fournier did against Paris. Even if Olympiacos didn't win, Evan Fournier had a great game. So I think they will allow for Maledon to score. And as we already know, Maledon can do that. So I really like those matchups. And I will go with Edwards, the top scorer of EuroLeague at the moment, as my captain. I'll see, but if needed for Friday, I will probably go with Mirotic if I will need to change captains. And let's now go check the price growing stats of the top players in each position by fantasy points. So these are the top 10 centers for round 15 of EuroLeague by fantasy point average, and the amount of fantasy points that we need not to drop their price. So for example, Lesor needs to score 15.3 fantasy points not to drop his price. Devin Booker needs 24, Tavares 8.9, Jan Vesely 11.9, and Donta Hall only needs 1.4 not to drop his price. So some of the players have good stats for price growing. Some of them might drop your budget. So depending what amount of fantasy points you think they will score in round 15, Oturi needs only 1.6 though, so he definitely should get that. So at least if you pick him, you're not risking to lose budget. And let's check the forwards now. So here you can see top 10 forwards by fantasy points average. And out of these top 10, the best price growing stats belong to Tyreek Jones, Jabari Parker, Chimamoneke, and Mirotic. There are also some good like Shingele and Lide. That's why, of course, we picked Moneke, Horde, and Tyreek because we have decent stats. And we play on Thursday, and they should do great. When it comes to guards, we have Shorts, Maledon, and Campazzo on the top. That's their stats, so of course we need to score at least 20 and 26 in Shorts cases, but that's why we kept Kurlik, because even if minus 11 he would not drop his price. Kendrick 9 needs to score 22 not to drop his price, and Mike James 26.4, same as Shorts to be honest. Okobo needs only 10.1, and that might be a great pick. But just in case you will pick Shane Larkin, he needs to score 17.1 not to drop his price, so be careful if picking him because I'm not sure if he will play. We need to check his status every day. And let's now check players in each position that are not necessarily best by their fantasy points average, but they're definitely best by price growing stats for the next round. So for example, when it comes to centers, McCormack has the best stats. Even if minus 19 he would not drop his price. Hem Birch needs to score minus 3.5 not to drop his price, so everything that he will score more will increase his price. Mohamed Diouf needs to score minus 2.6 not to drop his price. Kratzer 0.2. Corneli 0.5 if he will play, of course. But since Diallo is injured, actually Corneli might play, so let's see about that. Papagiannis needs 5.2 not to drop his price. Luka Mitrovic from Crvena Zvezda is very good, not only because of his matchup, but also for his price growing stats. So go get him only for 591k. Alec Peters, even with minus 9.8, would not drop his price. And now with the center position injured, actually he might get more playing time. At least 20 minutes he seems to be getting at the moment. I still kept Diallo here, so sorry about that. Alpha Diallo is actually injured, so don't pick him. Blossoming though from the same team needs to score minus 8 not to drop his price, so actually might be a decent pick now that Diallo is injured. Isaiah Mike from Partizan needs to score minus 5.2 not to drop his price. Marcus Howard, even if minus 16 will not drop his price, so it's quite safe to pick him. Lonnie Walker, it's still great. With minus 16, he would not drop his price. Maltedello is not a safe pick. Even if minus 12, he would drop his price, so be careful. And Servidis, minus 9, he would not drop his price. Frank Nikilikna, minus 5. Žagars and Kanan, minus 3, would not drop their price. So these are the best picks for your budget. I hope I made it at least a little bit easier for you to decide on your picks. Otherwise, for more content on EuroLeague Fantasy, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.